Now I can tomatoes. First you harvest them. Then you wash them. Next you lay them out to dry. Don't forget to take the tops off. Then I take the tops off of these ones. With the knife, I cut them up. Then we cook it on the stove. Next, you gotta have country music. While your sauce is cooking, get you a potato, Yukon Gold. Make sure you peel it, then you stick it in each pot. That gets rid of all of the acidity in your sauce. Next, get yourself some garden fresh veggies. Here's onions, peppers, parsley, and basil. Next, cut your veggies and cook them on the stove. Add your basil and your parsley into the tomatoes like this. Make sure you add water to your dry skillet so you don't need oil. Make sure you stir your pot from time to time. Next, let's add some garlic powder. Just sprinkle on top. And we'll add some onion powder. Sprinkle that on top as well. Okay, we can't forget the sugar. Here we go. Just sprinkle that on top. Remember, what you do to one, you do to the other. So here's the onion powder and the garlic powder and the sugar. Now let's let that cook. Now let's add some Italian seasoning to the other two. See the onions and peppers cooking? Next, we're going to take half of these and put in one pot, and half of the other is going to go into the other pot, just like this. They're nice and cooked, but they'll cook more in your sauce. For 2 pots of sauce, you're going to need 4 tomato paste, and these are the 12 ounces. First, we're going to open it up. Next, you're going to need a spatula. I have 2-sided, and you can use whatever side you want. And you're just going to dig out your sauces, and you're going to put 2 cans into each pot. Remember, like I showed you before, what you do to one, you got to do to the other. Next, you're going to do 2 cans of water into each pot. Then you'll want to go ahead and stir your sauce, scraping the bottom to make sure that you can get the tomato paste all cooked through good. And you're just going to let this cook probably another 20 minutes. This here has so far been on about an hour. The slower you cook sauce, the better tasting it is. And during your cooking, you're going to want to raise and lower your temperature according to how your pot is cooking. So if it's over boiling, you want to lower it. If it's got no boil like this is, you want to raise it. This way you keep everything cooking and simmering until it's nice and thick. So your next step is going to be to get your ball jars and get them out of the package and wash them. And you're going to wash them really, really well. Now these here are not Ball brand. I've never used these brands before, but these were here $8 at my local store, so yay for me, right? There's 12 jars. I'm going to wash them all. Well, I'm going to wash 7 because I know it's going to be 7 for 2 big pots. Okay, you're going to want to take your potatoes out. You're going to throw these potatoes away. You don't want to eat them. And I'll show you how you know it's ready. So you get a fork and you want put that fork inside your potato. Once it goes in real soft, you don't want that potato going into your sauce, because what it's done is it's taken all the acid out. Once it goes in soft, you're just going to toss the potato. Next, you want to get a pot and put your lids and your rings in them and just cover them with water, and then we're going to put that on the stove to boil. Next, you want to get your big water bath canning pot with your little rack here, and you're going to fill it up right under this line, probably to here, because once your jars go down in, that water's going to raise, maybe to about right here. That's all the further you want the water. You just want the water covering your jars. You don't want them, the water too high or to boil over. Okay, so once you have your pot on, you're going to bring it to high and let it go ahead and boil. What you're going to do is you're going to put your jars, your clean jars, upside down in there. This way, once you get the jars full, you'll put your lid on top. And this way, these will sterilize. And I'm going to sterilize these back here on the stove as well. I don't have it on quite yet. I'm not ready for them yet. You only want to let those boil for about 3 minutes. Like once it comes to a boil, I usually shut it off and let it set in the hot water. Okay, so here's what I mean. So I have the jars all filled up in the canner. Now, you just take your lid like this and kind of set it over top. It's not going to close all the way, but that's okay. What you're going to do is you're just going to let that boil. It takes a while for this big pot to heat up. So once it heats up and it will start boiling, you'll hear it. Just leave that on top. Let it go about 5-10 minutes. And then your jars should be ready to can. Okay, here's what the sauce looks like while you're here. It's looking really good. I still have it, but I have mine on the simmer. So I'll leave that simmer, stirring occasionally until my jars are ready to can. Okay guys, so this here, you can hear boiling. Now I lay a towel out just to put my jars on. And I just put this back here on. I'm going to boil these lids just about 3 minutes and then we're ready to can. You guys are going to have to buy this if you don't have it. It's the utensil set, and here's what it is. So you have this part to grab the lids. You have that to put on top of your jars, and then you also have this, and this will grab your jars out and put them in. Okay, you need to have something to put your pot on because it's going to be hot. Okay guys, the moment has finally come where we're going to can this. So that's what these tongs are for. You put it in, bring out your jar. Okay, now you're going to set this thing inside, and then you're just going to go ahead and fill the jars up. Just like that. And go slow so you don't splash yourself. I've learned that the hard way. These can get very hot quickly because everything's very hot. Okay, just want to make sure it was still going. There we go. Give you a different angle. All right, that's about as, well, a little tiny bit more because you want to leave headspace. What is headspace? Is where you don't put it all the way to the top, because when it cans, it rises. Get yourself a little plate to put your stuff on. Now you're going to take this little magnetic thing and you're going to go in and you're going to grab a lid and make sure there's only one there. Sometimes they're stuck together. Just set it right on top, and a rim. Just like that. And you're just going to tighten it up. I put the phone down a second and gave it a good screw. Then, take your grabby things. See how you're going to lift it right up and set it right down in your canner. Now you want to do the same process for all of them. I'll show you one more time. So take it out. Hold on these pretty tight because otherwise you'll lose it. It's hot. Set it down. Now I'm okay with heat, but I don't recommend it if you don't touch hot stuff. But I take my hand and I just gently flip it over quickly. Put that in there. Get your jar pretty close so you don't drip. And then get your ladle. I don't know if I told you to get a ladle, but get your ladle and just go ahead and fill it up. This is the fun part because you've worked so hard to make your sauce. And this is going to save lots of money for you guys in the winter time when it's cold out. you know. We love homemade sauce because we don't like oil. We don't use oil in our diet. Well, we try not to. Sometimes I get those chips, and boy, oh boy, those can have oil in them. But, about to here, pull it off. Okay, you see how this rim is a little dirty? Get you a paper towel. Piece of paper towel, and just wipe the rim off gently. And go ahead and grab the, you want to grab the rim first. My phone is dying. Set it down. And then grab this rim. So that, I called it wrong. The lid and then the rim. And then tighten it up really well. Use 2 hands to tighten it. And then you're going to pick it back up with the grabby thing. And you're going to set it down in. Now, you see how that jar moved on me? That's what these tongs are for. And go back in. Sometimes they do like to move around on you. So, just be careful. Pick it up. Get it in there. Sometimes you're going to have to force it in a little bit. Move things around. It'll get in there. Okay, guys. That's all the process is. Once these are getting filled up, I'll show you what I do next. Okay, guys. So, you see there's too much water once I get them in there. So, you just take your little ladle and shovel out some of that water. You don't want it that full. Remember when I showed you how far to fill it? These jars here that are, like I said, are new to me. They're a little bit thicker or rounder than the ball jars. So they don't fit as nicely, 7 of them, into my canner as the ball jars do. But this is what I'm having trouble with. A little bit showing here, trying to get them in there. Okay, so once I get enough, a little bit more water out, I'm just going to have to lift this little guy up a little bit more so this one will fit down in. And then it should be good enough to put the lid on. Alright, there they are, all down in. And I'm just going to have to be careful when they spoils because it may boil over a little bit. But this is what you do, and then you put the lid on. Okay, so then you put your lid on like that. And I see it, I still have it on high. And we're just going to go ahead and, depending on your altitude, look it up. My altitude is under 900 feet, so above sea level. So I go 45 minutes. Look up what your altitude is. And that's all there is to it. And then once these are done, after 45 minutes, I'll take them out. And then this will be cleaned off, and I'll set my jars down, let them pop and cool. Once they do, then I just label them, and then that's it. Thanks, guys, for watching. Hopefully you like this tutorial on how I can spaghetti sauce. Normally, I put mushrooms in mine, but I didn't have any, so that's why there was only onions and peppers. You can put in whatever vegetable you like. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new to my TikTok or to my YouTube, please subscribe to either one, and there'll be more videos. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.